If you're over 60, there's one thing you absolutely need to hear right now. Your strength is not gone. Your balance is not doomed. And your body is not too old to rebuild. In fact, the next few minutes might completely change the way you think about your own physical capability, because there are 3 specific exercises that can literally decide whether you stay strong, steady, mobile, and independent in the years ahead. Most people skip them. Most people assume walking is enough, or light stretching is enough, or staying active in general is enough. But if that were true, we wouldn't see so many people lose balance, lose muscle, lose mobility, and slowly lose confidence as they age. You're not here for that. You're here because you want to stay strong, steady, and in control. So let's talk like real people in a real-world way about exactly what your body needs right now. When you cross 60, something important happens that most people never talk about clearly. You start to notice certain things feel different. Standing up from a chair takes a bit more effort. Walking long distances feels heavier in the legs. And your sense of balance isn't as sharp as it used to be. But here's the truth many people never hear. This isn't just aging, and it isn't something you're stuck with. It's your body responding to the way you move, the way you use your muscles, and the kind of challenges, or lack of challenges, you're giving it every day. Staying strong and steady after 60 isn't about doing random workouts or just promising yourself to stay active in general. It's about targeting the exact muscles that keep you upright, balanced, confident, and able to move without hesitation. When you focus on the right areas, your body responds in ways that surprise even people in their 70s and 80s. You can regain strength, rebuild stability, and drastically reduce your risk of falls. But the key is understanding which muscles actually matter for long-term independence. People often think that walking every day is enough. Walking is great, no doubt, but it mainly works your endurance, not your strength. It doesn't condition the deeper stabilizing muscles around your hips. It doesn't strengthen your quads and hamstrings enough to support your knees. It doesn't activate your glutes, which are essential for standing tall and keeping your pelvis stable. So what happens is you stay active, but your foundation gets weaker and weaker. You might feel tired after a walk, but tired doesn't equal strong. When you target the proper muscles with intention, that's when your body truly changes. These muscles respond at any age. They're not like some fading battery that slowly dies no matter what you do. They're more like a sleeping system that wakes up the moment you apply the right kind of pressure, the right movements, and the right consistency. Your legs, hips, and core act like the structural beams of your body. Just like a house needs strong beams to stay upright, you need strong lower body and core muscles to move safely. The moment those beams weaken, everything becomes unsteady. You begin to rely on momentum instead of strength. You shift your weight unevenly. You start taking smaller steps without even realizing it. You lean on railings, furniture, or walls for support. All of these tiny changes add up over time until the body reaches a point where even normal daily activities feel challenging. This decline isn't caused by age alone, it's caused by muscles that aren't being trained in the way your body needs. And the beautiful part is that this can be reversed. People who start strengthening these areas later in life often notice improvements faster than younger people because the difference in how they feel is so dramatic. Your balance depends heavily on the small stabilizers around your hips and the deeper layers of your core. These muscles act like natural shock absorbers. They help you catch yourself when you trip, shift your weight smoothly, and move around confidently. If these muscles aren't strong, your risk of falls goes up significantly, and falls are one of the biggest threats to independence as you age. But the moment you start strengthening them, your body begins to relearn how to stabilize itself. You stand taller, you move more smoothly, your steps feel more controlled. Even getting out of bed or off the couch feels easier. These are the kinds of changes that make a real difference in your daily life, not just in a workout session. Most people misunderstand strength training after 60. They imagine heavy weights, complicated machines, or painful movements. But that's not what your body needs. What you need is controlled, intentional strengthening of the areas that matter most. You need exercises that teach your muscles to work together again. Your glutes assisting your hips, your quads supporting your knees, your core stabilizing your spine, and your calves helping you stay balanced. When these muscles are synchronized, you feel steady and grounded. When they're weak, even a small slip can turn into a fall because the body cannot correct itself fast enough. Strength creates safety. Strength creates confidence. Strength creates independence. What tends to surprise people the most is how quickly the body adapts once these muscles are activated again. Even if you haven't trained them in decades, they respond. They come back to life. Muscles don't just disappear with age, they shrink from lack of use. And shrinking is reversible. The body you're living in right now is capable of more improvement than you may realize. You don't need extreme workouts, and you don't need long hours of training. You just need the right movements, done consistently, with proper form. When you work the right muscles, your entire body begins to feel more stable. Your joints feel supported. Your back feels more secure. Your legs feel stronger when you get up, walk, or climb stairs. Every part of your daily movement becomes easier and more controlled. This is why staying strong and steady after 60 isn't about being athletic or trying to look younger. It's about supporting the life you want to live. It's about being able to travel, play with grandkids, take walks without fear of stumbling, and move around your home without worrying about your balance. It's about feeling capable in your own body. Strength training doesn't make you stiff. It doesn't make you bulky. It doesn't wear you out. It actually gives you more energy, more freedom, and more control. And when you target the right muscles, the very ones that hold your body upright and keep you stable, you unlock a level of physical confidence that most people assume is impossible after a certain age. The reality is simple. Your muscles are waiting to be activated. Your balance is waiting to be rebuilt. Your strength is waiting to return. You're not too old. You're not too late. You just need to direct your effort toward the right places, and your body will respond in ways that remind you that aging doesn't mean decline. It means adapting wisely and training smarter.
Most people over 60 walk around believing that muscle loss is an unavoidable part of aging, something that just happens no matter what you do. But the truth is far different from the common belief. Muscle loss after 60 has much less to do with your age and far more to do with how you're using your body. Muscles are incredibly adaptable at any stage of life. They shrink when they aren't challenged, and they grow or strengthen when they're given the right kind of stimulus. The problem is that as people get older, they unconsciously stop giving their muscles the type of work they actually need. They start avoiding stairs, bending less, lifting less, sitting more, and choosing convenience over challenge. Day by day, the muscles that once supported them so effortlessly become weaker simply because they're not being asked to do their job. It's easy to blame aging because it feels like the simplest explanation. You feel weaker, so you assume your age is the cause. But imagine this, if a strong, healthy 30-year-old stopped using their legs properly for months or years, those muscles would shrink too. Their balance would worsen, their joints would feel unstable, their strength would fade. We see this with injuries all the time. Someone gets a cast, they stop using a limb, and the muscle shrinks drastically within weeks. Not because they got older overnight, but because the muscle wasn't used. The same principle applies at 60, 70, even 80. The difference is simply that the average older adult becomes less physically challenged as their lifestyle changes, and they mistake the consequences of that for aging. When you start giving your muscles real work again, even gentle work, they respond. They wake back up. They grow in strength and endurance. They reconnect with your nervous system. That mind-muscle connection, which is so important for balance and stability, becomes sharper. Your coordination improves, your movements become smoother, your posture naturally lifts, and your confidence rises because your body feels more capable again. This isn't wishful thinking, it's basic physiology. Muscles don't retire, they don't stop listening, they don't refuse to grow. They simply follow the pattern of use you give them. What most people don't realize is that the body is constantly renewing itself. Even after 60, your muscles can rebuild, your bones can strengthen, your balance can improve, and your endurance can increase. The only thing stopping this is the lack of proper stimulus. Light activities like walking or stretching are helpful for general health, but they don't trigger enough muscle engagement to prevent the natural effects of underuse. They're not wrong, they're just not enough. Your muscles need resistance, stability work, and intentional activation to maintain their size and their function. Without that, they simply adapt downward to the easiest level of work you give them. Think about your legs, hips, and core again. These are the engines that power your daily life. They're responsible for lifting you up from a chair, stabilizing your stride when you walk, keeping you upright when you slip or stumble, and protecting your joints from impact. If these muscles don't get challenged, they slowly lose the ability to perform these essential tasks. The good news is that strengthening them doesn't require intense workouts or heavy gym equipment. What it really requires is consistent effort, controlled movements, and exercises that specifically wake these muscles back up. Once they're activated, your entire body starts feeling stronger and more aligned. This is why people who start strength training later in life often describe the experience as getting their body back. They begin to feel muscles they haven't felt in years. They notice their balance improving. They move with more certainty. Tasks that once felt tiring start feeling manageable again. The decline they thought was age-related reveals itself to be simply a matter of neglected muscles catching up to the demands of life. And once you correct that, your age no longer feels like a limitation. It feels like just a number attached to a body that still works well. Muscle loss gives the illusion of aging faster. Your steps become shorter, not because your legs are suddenly old, but because the muscles are weaker. Your posture rounds forward, not because your spine is failing, but because your back and core aren't strong enough to hold you upright. Your balance feels uncertain, not because your inner ear is aging rapidly, but because the stabilizer muscles in your hips aren't firing with the speed and strength they once had. All of these things can be improved simply by rebuilding the muscles that support your movement. One of the most powerful things to understand is that the speed of decline is directly tied to the speed of underuse. If you stop challenging your muscles, the body adjusts quickly. But when you start challenging them again, the body adjusts just as quickly in the opposite direction. This means improvement doesn't take months and months. Many people feel a difference within weeks. They feel stronger getting out of a chair. They feel steadier walking on uneven ground. They feel more secure going up and down steps. These changes don't come from aging reversing, they come from the muscles doing their job again. When you grasp this, your entire mindset shifts. Instead of feeling like time is working against you, you realize your body is still on your side. It's still capable. It's still responsive. It's still ready to strengthen. You just need to give it the right kind of work. So the idea that muscle loss is just aging starts to fall apart. Yes, some natural changes occur, but the majority of the decline people experience is simply the result of muscles not being used in a way they're designed to be used. And the moment you address that, you stop the downward spiral and start reclaiming strength, stability, and control over your body again. You're not powerless in this. You're not too late. Your muscles haven't stopped working. They've just been waiting for the right signal. When you start giving them that signal, everything changes.
When people hear that there are 3 specific exercises that can dramatically improve their stability and strength after 60, they sometimes assume it's an exaggeration. But this isn't hype. It's the reality of how the body works. Most workouts try to do too much, include too many movements, or focus on things that don't truly matter for balance, mobility, and confidence. But when you strip away the noise and look at what actually makes a difference for someone who wants to stay independent, steady on their feet, and strong in the most important ways, it comes down to targeting the right muscle groups with the right movements. These 3 exercises aren't random, and they're not selected for convenience. They are chosen because they hit the exact points in the body where strength loss causes the biggest problems for older adults. Once you strengthen those specific areas, everything else becomes easier, smoother, and safer. The reason these exercises are so powerful is because they don't just build muscle, they retrain your body to work as one coordinated system. When people lose strength with age, the decline doesn't happen evenly. Some muscles weaken faster than others, some stabilizers switch off, some larger muscles try to compensate for smaller ones that aren't active anymore. This imbalance leads to wobbly steps, difficulty rising from a chair, stiffness in the hips, and even back pain. But when you use exercises designed to rebuild these critical muscles, your whole body begins to realign itself. Movements that once felt shaky become secure. Standing feels more grounded. Walking feels more natural. Even your posture begins to lift because the muscles designed to support your spine start pulling their weight again. Each of these exercises works a different part of your foundational strength. One targets your legs and core to help you move with power and stability. Another activates the glutes and hips, which are the central control center of your balance. A third trains your ankle strength and lower leg stability, which is often overlooked but essential for preventing falls. When these three areas are strong, your body gains something that goes far beyond fitness. It gains resilience. It gains the ability to catch itself when you stumble. It gains the ability to shift your weight smoothly instead of jerking or wobbling. It gains the ability to move without hesitation or fear. People often underestimate how deeply these exercises can change the way they feel in their everyday life. It's not about looking fitter or performing some athletic routine. It's about being able to walk across a parking lot without worrying about uneven ground. It's about climbing stairs without your legs trembling halfway up. It's about standing up from a low seat without rocking or pushing off your hands. It's about having to balance to turn quickly, reach overhead, carry groceries, or step over a curb without losing your footing. These exercises translate directly into real-world strength, the kind that protects your independence as you age. What makes them even more effective is consistency. You don't need to spend hours on them, you don't need equipment, you don't need a gym. These movements work because they directly stimulate the muscles that matter, and when you repeat them regularly, those muscles adapt fast. People often feel improvements within a few weeks, sometimes even sooner. That's because these muscles have been underused, not incapable. The moment you activate them, the body starts reinforcing them, increasing their strength, improving their endurance, and rebuilding their connection with your brain. That connection is what sharpens your balance. It's what helps your body react quickly when something unexpected happens. Most falls don't happen because someone is clumsy. They happen because the body can't react fast enough when it's thrown off balance. The stabilizer muscles around your hips and ankles fire too slowly, or too weakly, or not at all. But when you train them with the right exercises, they begin firing faster. Your body becomes more responsive. You gain a kind of automatic stability. You don't have to think about balancing. Your muscles handle it for you. That's the beauty of these targeted movements. They rebuild the natural systems that aging tends to dim down without forcing you into complicated routines or risky movements. Another important part of why these exercises matter is that they reduce pressure on the joints. When your muscles are weak, your knees, hips, and lower back absorb the stress. That's when you start feeling aches and pains after simple activities. But when your muscles are strong enough to do their job, the load shifts away from your joints and back to the muscles where it belongs. This is why people who practice these exercises often notice old pains fading, stiffness reducing, and their posture improving. The body starts aligning the way it was meant to because the muscles designed to stabilize the skeleton finally start firing again. For people over 60, the fear of falling can be as limiting as the physical risk itself. Many avoid activities they once enjoyed because they don't trust their balance anymore. But when you strengthen the core, legs, hips, and ankles with exercises designed specifically to restore stability, you're not just training your body, you're retraining your confidence. You start feeling capable again. You move without second-guessing yourself. You participate in life instead of backing away from it. That emotional shift is just as powerful as the physical improvement because confidence affects every part of daily living. The truth is, most people don't need dozens of exercises. They need the right three, the ones that target the areas most responsible for balance, strength, and functional stability, the ones that reverse the exact weaknesses that cause older adults to lose independence, the ones that activate the muscles that actually matter for safe movement. When you focus on those, you get results that show up not just in your workouts, but in every step you take, every time you sit or stand, every time you bend, reach, or turn. Everything you do becomes easier because your foundation is solid. And that's why these exercises are so powerful. They They don't just make you stronger, they make your life easier. They give your body the support it needs to move safely. They rebuild muscles that protect you from falls. They bring back control, stability, and balance. And they prove, without a doubt, that no matter your age, your body is still ready to strengthen, adapt, and support you when you give it the right kind of work.
When you think about staying strong and steady after 60, it's easy to focus on balance alone. But the truth is that balance starts long before you ever take a step. It starts in the strength of your lower body, because that's where almost every movement you make begins. Your legs, hips, and core are the engines that make daily life feel either effortless or exhausting. They decide how easily you get up from a chair, how smoothly you climb steps, how confidently you walk, and how quickly you can react when something unexpected happens under your feet. When these muscles weaken, everything feels harder. When they're strong, everything feels lighter. That's why lower body strength is the foundation of independence as you age. And the reason so many older adults struggle is simply because these muscles haven't been trained in years. Most people underestimate how much pressure their lower body absorbs every day. Your knees carry the weight of your entire upper body every time you stand or walk. Your hips act like hinges that stabilize every step. Your glutes support your pelvis, control your stride, and keep your spine aligned. Your core holds everything together so that your body stays upright and balanced. When any of these areas weaken, you start to compensate in ways you don't even notice. You might lean forward more. You might take shorter steps. You might shift your weight unevenly from one leg to the other. You might avoid bending or kneeling because it feels unstable. These small adjustments become habits, and those habits create even more weakness over time, turning simple tasks into challenges. Think about how often you use your legs in your normal routine, standing up from a chair, getting out of bed, stepping into a car, going up or down stairs, reaching into a cabinet, picking something up from the floor, walking across a room, or even just turning around. Almost everything depends on the strength and coordination of your lower body. When your muscles are strong, you don't think twice about these movements. But when they weaken, every action requires more effort. You might push off with your hands to stand. You might hold on to furniture for balance. Or you might hesitate before taking a step. That hesitation is one of the earliest signs that your lower body strength needs rebuilding. One of the biggest reasons older adults struggle with mobility is that they lose power in the muscles that support the knees and hips. Weak quads make it difficult to stand up. Weak glutes make it hard to keep your pelvis stable, which leads to side-to-side wobbling when you walk. Weak hamstrings make stairs feel heavy. Weak calves reduce your ability to absorb impact when your foot hits the ground. And a weak core magnifies all of these issues because your torso can't hold you upright with the stability you need. When any of these areas weaken, you start to compensate in ways you don't even notice. You might lean forward more. You might take shorter steps. You might shift your weight unevenly from one leg to the other. You might avoid bending or kneeling because it feels unstable. These small adjustments become habits, and those habits create even more weakness over time, turning simple tasks into challenges. Strong lower body muscles also play a major role in protecting your joints. When your muscles are weak, your knees and hips take the full load of your body weight with every step. Over time, that creates strain, discomfort, and stiffness. But when your muscles are strong, they absorb the majority of that impact, reducing wear on the joints and making movement smoother. This is why people who strengthen their legs often notice reduced knee pain, improved posture, and a greater range of motion. Their muscles are finally doing the job they were designed to do, rather than letting the joints take all the pressure. Balance is another key part of this. Balance isn't just about staying upright. It's about being able to adjust quickly when your body needs to. That adjustment doesn't come from your mind. It comes from your muscles. Strong calves help you recover when your foot slips. Strong glutes keep your hips level when you walk. Strong quads help you stabilize when you step onto uneven ground. Strong core muscles prevent your torso from tipping forward or backward. When any of these areas weaken, you start to compensate in ways you don't even notice. You might lean forward more. You might take shorter steps. You might shift your weight unevenly from one leg to the other. You might avoid bending or kneeling because it feels unstable. These small adjustments become habits, and those habits create even more weakness over time, turning simple tasks into challenges. Daily tasks begin to feel easier too. Climbing stairs no longer feels like a workout. Getting out of a soft chair stops being a struggle. Carrying groceries becomes manageable again. Even long walks feel more comfortable because your legs have the endurance to support you. People often don't realize how much their lives can change simply by improving their lower body strength. It's not about becoming a gym athlete. It's about building the strength that supports your everyday lifestyle. Posture is another major factor affected by lower body strength. When your core and glutes are weak, your lower back tries to compensate, which leads to stiffness, soreness, and that forward-leaning posture many people develop over time. But when your lower body is strong, your spine lines up the way it's supposed to. Your shoulders sit back naturally, your chest opens up, your breathing improves. You look and feel more confident not because you're trying to, but because your body finally has the support it needs to stand tall. There's also a mental benefit that comes with strengthening your lower body. When walking, standing, or climbing stairs feels difficult, people often start avoiding activities they enjoy. They choose the elevator instead of the stairs. They avoid long walks. They turn down invitations because they don't trust their balance or stamina. This creates a cycle where fear leads to less movement, and less movement leads to more weakness. But when you rebuild the muscles that power your daily life, that fear begins to fade. You feel secure again. You feel capable. You trust your body. And that confidence spills over into every part of your life. The lower body is the anchor of your mobility. It carries you. It stabilizes you. It protects you. It supports every step, every bend, every turn. Without strength in these areas, independence slowly slips away. But with the right exercises and consistent effort, you can regain the kind of strength and stability that makes everyday living feel smooth again. Your body doesn't lose its ability to get stronger, you just have to remind it how.
Most people reach their 60s believing that the best years of their physical capability are behind them, but that belief has nothing to do with how the body actually works. Your body does not stop responding to exercise just because you've crossed a certain age. In fact, the ability to rebuild strength, restore balance, and improve physical control remains active for as long as you are alive. What changes with age isn't the ability to grow stronger, but the way your body responds to the type of training you give it. When you start using the right exercises, the right movements, and the right level of resistance, your muscles adapt exactly the way they're designed to, and they often do it faster than people expect. The truth is that most people over 60 have not been training their bodies in a way that encourages growth and improvement. Years of sitting more, bending less, avoiding stairs, moving cautiously, and staying within a comfort zone teaches the body to do only the minimum amount of work necessary. Muscles shrink due to underuse, stabilizers switch off, and the nervous system stops firing as efficiently. But this decline isn't permanent. As soon as you give your muscles a reason to wake up, they begin rebuilding. As soon as you challenge your balance in a controlled way, your stabilizer muscles start reactivating. As soon as you apply resistance, your strength begins to return. The body's waiting for signals, and the moment you send the right ones, it responds. Many people think improvement at this age means tiny little changes that might take months to show, but the opposite is often true. Older adults frequently see noticeable changes within weeks because their starting point is underactivated rather than broken. Once those sleeping muscles are re-engaged, the difference is immediate. Suddenly standing up feels easier, walking feels smoother, steps feel more controlled. You catch yourself quicker when you're off balance. You feel lighter on your feet, not because your age reversed, but because your muscles finally started supporting you the way they're supposed to. One of the most powerful parts of this process is that the improvements don't stop. The body continues to adapt. You don't reach a point where progress becomes impossible. You simply improve according to the consistency and effort you give. A person at 60 can build noticeable strength. A person at 70 can improve their balance dramatically. A person at 80 can regain mobility they thought was lost forever. The body doesn't close the door on growth. Growth just requires the right inputs. People often assume that balance issues, stiffness, or weakness are permanent once they appear, but these are usually signs of muscles that haven't been trained, not signs of irreversible decline. The hips and core can regain stability, the glutes can relearn how to engage, the legs can become stronger, the ankles can become more responsive, the back can feel more supported. Every part of the body involved in movement remains capable of improvement as long as you are alive. And when these areas grow stronger, everything else becomes better. You move more confidently, you stand longer without discomfort, you walk farther without fatigue, you react faster to sudden changes under your feet, you regain a sense of control that many people don't realize they lost. Another powerful benefit is that building strength and balance creates a ripple effect across your entire lifestyle. When your body feels capable, you naturally become more active. You take more walks, you enjoy outings more, you participate in more activities, you stop hesitating before moving. This increased activity further strengthens your muscles, improves your cardiovascular health, enhances your mood, and keeps you mentally sharper. The cycle becomes positive rather than negative. Everything builds on itself. The more you move, the more you improve. And the more you improve, the more you want to move. This change also affects your emotional well-being. Losing balance or strength can create quiet fear. People often stop doing things not because they're unable, but because they don't trust their body. That distrust slowly shrinks their world. But as soon as strength and stability return, so does confidence. You no longer second-guess yourself when stepping off a curb. You no longer feel nervous about climbing stairs. You no longer avoid softer chairs because you struggle to get out of them. That confidence restores independence in a way no machine or medication can provide. You feel in control again, not because someone told you to, but because your body proves it to you every day. This is why the right exercises matter so much. Not because they build huge muscles or turn you into an athlete, but because they target the exact systems your body relies on to stay independent. Strength training improves your ability to support yourself. Balance training improves your ability to recover from stumbles. Core training improves your ability to stay upright and stable. Hip training improves your ability to step, shift, and move smoothly. These are the abilities that determine whether you live confidently or cautiously, actively or passively. The idea that aging equals decline is one of the most damaging myths in health. What's true is that aging increases the need for intentional training. When you were younger, your daily life challenged your muscles naturally. Now your body needs deliberate movements to keep those systems strong. But needing more intention does not mean you're incapable. It simply means you need to train smarter. And when you do, the results can be life-changing. You're not too old to regain strength. You're not too old to improve your balance. You're not too old to become steady on your feet again. You're not too late to rebuild muscle. Your body is still capable, still adaptable, and still willing to strengthen as long as you give it the chance. The exercises you choose and the consistency you maintain become the key to unlock your physical potential no matter your age.